Hello, I'm going to talk about Pythagorean theorem today. You've probably seen Pythagorean theorem. It's the formula that we use to figure out the thirds or unknown side length in a right triangle. In this package, this work package here, it's describing it, it's trying to make it visual for you. And the idea is that the length of the A side squared, which is represented by this square here, plus the length of the other short side, the B side, squared, represented by the purple square, equals the size of C, the hypotenuse squared, which is shown by this green square. You probably know it as A squared plus B squared equals C squared, because that's how we usually think about it. All right. What's different in this work package is that they're talking about Pythagorean triples, which is something you may not have ever heard of or seen before. But it's really just a little detail. It's a little quirk thing. It's a way that you can test to see if a triangle is a right triangle if you know all three sides. So for example, and this is the example that's already written down in your notes. So for example, in this triangle, we're testing to see, does A squared plus B squared, does it equal C squared? So I've put the question mark on there because I don't know if this is equal. So if A is 3 and B is 4 and C is 5, if I tell you those things, is that a right triangle? Let's find out. So my A becomes 3, so that becomes 3 squared. My B is 4, so that's 4 squared. Does that actually equal my C, which is 5 squared? So 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared it was 25. So then we end up with 25 equals 25. So yes, 3, 4, 5 is a Pythagorean triple. Okay, let's do another example. If my side lengths, instead of being 3, 4, 5, were 4, 5, 6, does 4 squared plus 5 squared equal 6 squared? Well, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is 25, 36, or 6 squared is 36. I should put a question marks up there. 16 plus 25 equals 41. Well, 41 does not equal 36. So 4, 5, 6 is not a Pythagorean triple. Okay, so on the examples on the next page, you're just going to do those calculations with the sizes given and determine if these are right triangles or not. Okay? And then, and same, these ones are just using numbers, figure out what they are. Just to tell you that if you square, example 2 here, question 2, if you square square root of 7 and you square that, that equals 7. Okay? And if you take the square root of 10 and you square that, that equals 10. All right? Moving down, these questions, you're going to use the Pythagorean theorem to figure out the missing side. So here we use the formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared, and that will work well for question 2, where you'll go 2 squared plus 5 squared equals my question mark squared. Or maybe I want to replace this with an x and make this x squared. Okay, I'll just do this question for you. So 2 squared is 4, 5 squared is 25, that equals x squared, 29 equals x squared. and then you take the square root of 29 and the square root of x. So x equals the square root of 29, and you can leave it like that, or you can take your it does say to round it to the nearest tenth. So then you're going to take your calculator, and you're going to get the square root of 29 on your calculator, which is 5.385, which you're going to round to 5.4. Okay, remember what we learned about rounding. And then we need our units, which is inches. All right. When you're missing a side length instead of the hypotenuse, the easiest thing is probably to use a different formula, which is b squared equals c squared minus a squared. It's just you've just used some algebra to manipulate the question, but now you're solving for your unknown side length. So this is going to be, let's look at this one. This is your C, this is your B, this is your A. So b squared equals 9 squared minus 6 squared. Okay, I'll let you finish that. All right. And then these questions, just you have to do a little bit more thinking, that's all. Okay, and then some word problems, but they've got drawings for you, so you should be able to take a look at those. If you have any trouble, let me know, and I will meet you on Zoom to give you some help. Okay, have a great day. Bye.